So are these better than a pair of Jordan 1s? No, that's clickbait, I'm lying, but, well, actually, they're pretty close. What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Fowler, and this is UNhype, the show where I talk about shoes which aren't hyped up, but in a lot of cases are better than the shoes that are hyped up. And in today's video, I'm reviewing an Air Jordan 1 alternative that's actually been out longer than the Jordan 1 and is a really great option if you don't want to spend the crazy resale on a pair of Jordan 1s. And that shoe is the Diadora Mi Basket Used. But before we dive into the review, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell down below if you haven't yet, so you can see more content just like this or other sneaker related content that you might want to see. And also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at Real Seth Fowler. So as some of you may know, this is the second episode of UNhype. I dropped the first episode last week and reviewed a pair of Bodega Vans, which are some of my favorite pairs of Vans that have dropped in the last couple years. If you guys would like to check out that video first before we dive into this video, make sure to click that link at the top of the screen. But if you missed that video and Diadora is more your speed, then stay tuned because we're about to dive into the Mi Basket and find out what makes it almost as good, if not better in some ways, than the Air Jordan 1. So to give you all some background and some history on the Diadora Mi Baskets, this shoe was first developed in 1984 for the Milan basketball team. Since then, the Mi Basket 2 did go out of production and apparently was reintroduced over the last couple years as just the Mi Basket. And of course, if you didn't know, Mi Basket stands for Milan basketball, not my basket that I shoot in the shoes. I don't know where I'm going with that. But what drew me so much to this sneaker in particular is how much this shoe looked like a pair of Air Jordan 1s, which makes a lot of sense because this shoe was released around the same time that all those sneakers that looked like Jordan 1s were coming out, like the Forum 84s, the Air Jordan 1s, the Nike Airships. They all kind of had that sort of high-top basketball vibe to them. Just because the Air Jordan 1 is one of the most popular basketball sneakers in that style, it doesn't mean it was the first or even the best for basketball. Now personally, I have no idea how well this shoe performs on court, and I'm not going to try it because it's an older shoe and I bet you it really hurts wearing this shoe on court, but hey, you know what? It's nice to know that people could play basketball in this shoe, and they did play basketball in this shoe. It's actually kind of funny because in my first UNhype video, a couple people commented that I should review the Diadora Mi Basket, which I actually had already bought at that point and was already planning to review. So shout out to you guys who commented that. If you guys have any suggestions for more sneakers for the UNhype series, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Really quick though, I want to show you guys the Diadora Mi Basket box because some of you might not be familiar with it. I know I wasn't. So the box comes in this really nice white matte cardboard with the Diadora and Heritage logo printed on the top. Around the sides of the box, you've got the size tag right there on one side, and then the Make It Bright, which I'm assuming is their slogan, on the other side. And then personally, my favorite part of the box is the way that you open it. It's actually got this cool like half crescent shape right there where you see through to this sort of gold printing area. In order to open the box, you just pull on the front like this. It's actually kind of difficult to open. There we go. And then you lift up the top and you've got this really nice printed image of tools, I guess cobbler tools, as well as this little paragraph that reads, "Through our collections we spark fond memories of great moments in sports history we have achieved together with some legendary champs. The meticulous selection of materials, the use of exclusive treatments, the expertise of master craftsmen all serve in making the Heritage ultimate expression of Diadora excellence." That's a long sentence. Not only do the products represent a tribute to iconic figures of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they are a perfect synthesis between beauty and innovation. Unique modern designs that celebrate a contemporary new concept of superlative Italian refinement and know-how. So if you didn't know, this is an Italian sneaker brand. It almost feels like the Ferrari of sneakers, in a way. I don't know if that's a good example, but it's kind of what I'm thinking of. But right off the bat, I've got to say that I just love the design of this shoe. These sort of like mid-80s style basketball sneakers are some of my favorite sneaker designs of all time. Now obviously I'm comparing the shoe to the Jordan 1 a lot, and that's not just because it's a very popular sneaker, but also because the Jordan 1 is my favorite shoe of all time. So that's why I feel like it's such a good alternative to the Jordan 1. No, it's not a cheaper alternative. It's a $200 shoe. You can find some pairs on sale, but retail price is more expensive than the Jordan 1. But the materials used on this shoe and the style and some of the colorways that this shoe comes in really make this sneaker special. So jumping into the Diadora Mi Basket, around the mudguard of the shoe, you've got this really nice sort of light brown colored leather. Now one thing you may notice on the leather panels of this shoe, and also definitely on the midsole of this shoe, is that it looks like the sneaker's already been worn. Now that was done on purpose. That's sort of pre-distressing the shoes to give them a very used and worn look. And while I don't love that aesthetic on every pair of sneakers, it's definitely a more high-end trend that designer brands like to do. And on this particular shoe, I think it looks pretty nice. I mean, it makes sense that I would like it. I love the way that Jordan 1s and leather shoes look like when they've been worn for a while. And this shoe doesn't overdo it like some designer brands. It's not covered in dirt. It has a couple scuffs and a couple smudges here and there, but it gives the shoe a sort of slightly vintage aesthetic. One of the high points on this shoe for me is how nice the quality of leather used on this shoe actually is. It feels significantly better than leathers used on Jordan sneakers or Adidas sneakers or any other mass-produced leather shoe, and it just feels really good to the touch and very premium. Now I know, yeah, this is still technically a mass-produced leather shoe, but the leather quality feels significantly better than that of a lot of other shoe brands. Moving up on the shoe, you've got some nice white or off-white perforated leather on the toe, and then moving up even farther to the eye stays, you've got more of that light brown leather. Now the reason that I picked this colorway in particular is, one, because it has very similar color blocking to some classic Air Jordan 1s, but it's also the only pair that I saw in Kith. And no, I didn't buy this pair from Kith, but it was in the back of my mind when I was looking at these shoes online, so this is the one that I pulled the trigger on. But now that I have it, I kind of wish I'd sprung for one of the all-white versions. I feel like they're just a little bit cleaner, and they're a little bit more different than a pair of Air Jordan 1s. I mean, obviously, you've got some of the metallic Jordan 1s, but this colorway definitely shares a lot of similarities. Those other colorways, while similar, are not exactly the same, and definitely sort of stand on their own. Weaving through the eyelets of the shoe, you've got these flat white laces, and then underneath the laces, you've got this really nice white leather tongue. At the top of the tongue, you've got Diadora's logo and heritage embroidered in white. And then moving inside the shoe, you've got this bright white fabric sock liner, which is actually really nicely padded. Now I've got to say, while I don't mind this fabric material on the sock liner, I kind of prefer the mesh used in some other sneakers, like for example the Forum Highs or the Air Jordan 1s. And the reason for that is it feels a little bit more durable. This feels like it could tear over time. I don't know if it will, but that's just sort of the feel that I'm getting from just touching it. The insole of the shoe comes in a light cream colored leather with the Diadora and Heritage logo printed on the heel in white. But getting to sizing and fit, the Diadora My Basket does fit pretty true to size. In fact, I hate to say it, but it fits very similarly to a pair of Air Jordan 1s or a pair of Adidas Forum Highs. The upper of this shoe is surprisingly well padded. It's very comfortable on foot. Obviously the midsole doesn't have any like air units or any kind of cushion under there, so it's kind of just a standard, rubber cup sole, so it's not going to be the softest underfoot, but around the top of your foot, you're going to be in plush comfort. Then moving back in the shoe to the midfoot, you've got more of that light cream colored leather, and then on top of that, you've got the Diadora logo in black. Now I'm not sure what kind of material they used for this Diadora logo. It feels like some sort of synthetic, I don't know, rubbery type material. It feels fine, it looks like leather. It's not incredible, but it's not bad. Then moving back in the shoe, you've got more of that light brown colored leather on the heel counter. You've got this really cool sort of like rectangular cutout. I'm not exactly sure why it looks like that, but it's a nice interesting detail. And then towards the top of the ankle, you've got some black leather as well as the Diadora logo and 1984 embroidered into the heel. Moving down in the shoe, you get to the Diadora My Basket midsole, which like I mentioned before, comes pre-aged with this very used look, which at first I didn't love, but looking at this shoe now in person, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look. And to be honest, like I said before, I kind of wish I had gone with the white color because it would have provided a little bit more contrast with the upper than it does with this sort of like multicolor upper look. I do want to say though that I still really like this colorway a lot, and I don't regret buying it. I just kind of prefer the white colorway now that I look at it more. And then finally moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got this black rubber outsole with the Diadora logo in the midfoot, as well as these really interesting sort of coffee bean shaped or even hot dog shaped tread patterns. Man, I haven't eaten dinner yet. That's why I'm thinking about that. Overall, I'm gonna be honest, I think that the Diadora My Basket Used is an excellent pair of sneakers. Obviously the shoe is not gonna be replacing my Air Jordan 1s in my collection, but I do think it's a nice pair of sneakers if you're looking for that slightly more upscale, slightly fancier look. Now even though the shoe is a great alternative to a pair of Jordan 1s, it's unfortunately not any cheaper. It starts at a retail price of $200, which means that you're gonna have to spend a little bit more than you would on a new pair of Jordan 1s. With that said though, when it comes to most pairs of Jordan 1s, they usually resell, so you can't actually buy them unless you're buying them for resale. With this pair, you could walk right into well, I don't know what store you could walk into to grab it, but Diadora's website, Kith maybe, and you could grab a pair in your size with no issues. If you're interested in the history of Diadora and their basketball sneakers, if you love the way this shoe looks and you love the craftsmanship and the materials used on this sneaker, the Italian craftsmanship by the way, this is an Italian sneaker brand, I think you're gonna love this sneaker, and I think it's definitely a shoe that's worth picking up. But at this point, I would love to know your thoughts on the Diadora My Basket and whether it's a shoe that you'd ever consider picking up, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Also, while you're down there, make sure to let me know what shoes you'd like to see me review next on UNhype. I'd love to know your thoughts, and I'd love to hear about some brands I've never heard of, so make sure to leave those comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.